You're looking to make your first investment into the stock market, but you're being told to do your own due diligence. But what does that really mean? In this video, I'm going to walk you through the 5 things you should look at with any stock before buying as a beginning investor. And if you look at these 5 things, you can feel confident that you're going to make your first investment a good one. Let's go ahead and take a look at number one. Whenever I'm looking to make my first investment, the number one thing I look at any stock is the PE ratio, or price to earnings ratio. As you can see on this graph, you can see the stock price, what you're going to pay for the stock, divided by the earnings per share of the company. And this is reported out every quarter by a publicly traded company. So if you take the stock price and divide it by the earnings per share, that gets your PE ratio. That's your price to earnings ratio. As you can see on the right, this is for ticker symbol SPY, which is the S&P 500. The price to earning ratio for the SPY is 25.61. So if you're looking at any stock in the market, if the stock is above the P ratio of 25.61, you're probably paying above the value market price. There may be growth in that particular stock, but you're paying more than the earnings per share is dictating. If the PE ratio is below 25.61, more often than not, that the stock price is less than what it is for earnings per share. Once again, this is a key parameter because it basically shows you how much you're paying from a stock price perspective against the earnings per share. And this is definitely the number one thing you should be looking at. If you don't want to invest in stocks at all and you want to invest in the SPY or the VOO, which is basically an ETF that tracks the S&P 500, SPY and VOO to look at with the P ratio of 25.61. So let's remember as we go through your stock picks to look at the PE ratio. If it's above 25, you're probably overpaying for the stock. If it's below 25, you're underplaying the market in relation to the stock that you're purchasing. The number two thing you should be looking at in any stock is the stock's beta. And this measures the overall volatility of the stock that you're looking against the overall market. So as you can see in the graphic here, the beta on the company is the stock volatility divided by the market volatility. So if you're looking at a particular stock divided by the S&P 500, you get your what's called your beta coefficient. And once again, the current beta on SPY is always going to be 1. So if the beta is below 1, that means the stock isn't going to be as much volatile as the overall market. If it's over 1, that means that the volatility in that particular stock is going to be higher. That doesn't mean that the stock is going to go higher or lower based on the risk volatility, but more often than not, if you're competing against the S&P 500, which most advisors and most retail investors are doing, if the stock is more volatile, the chances of the swings going up and down are going to be a lot more. So number one is the price to earnings ratio. Number two is beta. Let's go ahead and look at number three. The third thing that I look at when I'm looking at stocks is dividend yield. And what that basically means that if the stock is pretty profitable that you're looking to buy, chances are they're going to return either a stock dividend or a cash dividend, which is basically profits from the company that they're giving back to their shareholders. And one of the things that I like to look at is dividend yield. So basically, as you see on the chart, you have your annual dividend paid divided by the share price, and that's telling you what the dividend yield is for that dividend. So you can see that you're getting a constant cash flow from your investment, regardless if the price of the stock is going up or down. And you can see on the right, the S&P SPY has a current yield of 1.25, which is a pretty good yield for the S&P 500. Companies like Apple and Microsoft that pay out a quarterly dividend are usually good companies to invest in because they're profitable and they can share some of their profits with their customers. So once again, we look at price to earning ratio number one, beta number two, dividend yield number three. Let's go ahead and take a look at choice number four. The fourth option you want to be looking at as it relates to picking stocks is free cash flow. And this is on the quarterly report for all companies that are publicly traded. And I always like looking at this one because Kevin O'Leary at Shark Tank, when they're evaluating customers on that TV program, he always talks about free cash flow. And what free cash flow basically means is that it's the operating cash flow minus all the capital expenditures or CapEx, which basically indicates how much free cash flow does the company have based on the operating cash flow. That's usually a really good sign that the company is profitable, does really well, and is spending on capital expenditures, but not too much accordingly. I think this is a really good metrics for beginning investors, especially a lot of investors that are now investing in tech companies and AI companies, where they're doing a lot of investing into capital expenditures like Microsoft investing into chips, Tesla investing into AI functionality. There's a lot of companies investing into OpenAI, SpaceX. So capital expenditures for a lot of companies is going to be a lot higher now and in the next 2 years because of all those expenditures into AI functionality. So the number 4 thing to look at on a quarterly basis as you look at stocks is how much free cash flow do they have, meaning that if there's any market turns or anything like that, do they have enough cash on their books to maintain solvency? If they have billions and billions of dollars of free cash flow, that basically means that the company is financially stable. So option number 1, price to earnings ratio. Number 2 is beta. Number 3 is dividend yield. Number 4 is cash flow. And now finally, let's take a look at number 5. So number 5 on my list is sometimes number 1 for a lot of people, and that's overall company profitability. And it's broken out into different aspects. You can look at net income, you can look at margins, and then what's probably most important is return on your equity. So you can see in the graphic below from a company profitability perspective, if you look at a company like Microsoft that has a ton of operating revenue because of their sales and all of their partnerships and investments that they make, minus the cost of goods, minus and the net of operating expenses equals their net income, which is basically their bottom line number. And as you can see on the right-hand side, it kind of breaks it out into different aspects of margin. The higher the margin, basically, the how much they're paying versus how much they can charge their customers for their software and services. If it's over 35%, the net margin of 35%, the operating margin of 44%, and the return on equity of 39%, those are fantastic numbers for Microsoft. And obviously for companies in their space like Microsoft and other software companies, those margins are really good. However, as you can see on the screen, the price to earnings ratio is slightly higher than the S&P 500. As you saw earlier in the video, the S&P 500 was at about 26. The PE ratio of Microsoft is 32. So it's a little bit more volatile than the overall market. So more often than not, if the market of the S&P 500 is maybe returning 8%, Microsoft's probably returning about 11 to 12%. And vice versa. If the S&P is down 5%, chances are Microsoft is down 8% as well. So I've just given you kind of my 5 things that I look at for any stock if I'm really looking at them fundamentally. I wish I was looking at all my stocks fundamentally because sometimes I take flyers on market sentiment or trends. But these are the 5 core things as a beginning investor that you should be looking at. So let's move on to the last slide here. We're going to talk about $1,000 into a portfolio based on the characteristics that you learned in this video. So let's go ahead and take a look. So I looked at all my 5 pieces of fundamentals based on the video, and I plugged them into GPT, and I asked it to build me a $5,000 portfolio based on the PE ratio, beta, dividend yield, free cash flow, and profitability. And it spit out this information. 30% into Apple, 25% into Microsoft, 20% into NVIDIA, 15% into Google, and 10% into Johnson & Johnson. Now, you shouldn't trust ChatGPT to build your portfolio. And I would do my due diligence on all 5 of these companies if I was going to make an investment with my portfolio this way. But to be quite honest with you, this is a pretty good portfolio based on the characteristics that you're looking at. I don't think you can do wrong with this portfolio as well. So hopefully this was helpful to look at as a beginning investor, the 5 things you should be looking at. Look out for future videos as a beginning investor to break this information down in a little bit more detail so that you can look at the characteristics yourself to make the proper investments. And once again, do your own due diligence as it relates to investing into the stock market. And if you're nervous about investing at all into any individual stocks, you should probably be getting into ETFs or index funds because those are the must-safe bets. But we're here to make investing fun, and I know a lot of people want to invest into individual securities. And that's what this channel is all about. So I hope you take the opportunity to subscribe to the channel. I'll be providing more of these videos for beginning investors based on my 30 years of experience investing in the market. I always do daily picks every single day, picking individual stocks. And at the end of the week, we look at the overall performance. But one of the things I like to do, and I have a passion for, is to really talk about investments, especially the ones that win, and then talk to you about the psychology of investing so that you can look at when you take losses on stocks that it's not personal, that you should really set stop limits on your stocks, that anything that goes down 20%, especially if you're a beginning investor, is to not hold your losses. That's the number one thing that I've learned over 30 years is to sell your losses before you get into a falling knife situation. So hopefully this beginning portfolio video was helpful for you. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Is this a good portfolio for you? Would you invest differently in $5,000? Do you have different fundamentals that you look at? Go ahead and subscribe and go ahead and comment below. Thanks and have a great investing day.